Hey everyone, today we're going to be discussing your LLM second brain because we all know that when you use AI, it's very inconvenient to switch to another tool or another platform, or even worse, your own AI that you use every single day messes up, forgets context, and ultimately does not give you the output that you need because it just cannot remember those little details that are so important. And there's a lot of little details in life, in business, in work, in relationships. And if you want your LLM to remember everything about you, if you want to be unattached to Claude, ChatGPT, OpenClaw, and be able to jump around between different platforms without losing that context, this video is going to help you do that. And this is also helpful if you're thinking about building AI agents. Maybe you're building agents into your business infrastructure. Maybe you're building agents for yourself. It's all about context and the way that we feed the brain, if you will, the context without it forgetting everything. So I'm going to walk you through step by step. We have 7 steps. Okay, 6 steps with the bonus. And by the end of this video, you're going to have your second brain locked in, ready to go. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. I just installed this last week and it was incredibly helpful. So the first thing we're going to do is we need to have a home base for our context. You can think of context just as documentation, essentially. And so what I recommend is Obsidian. This is definitely the best tool that I've found so far. I've been a Notion user for a long time, but for this specific example, you're going to want to use Obsidian. It's free, it's open source, and it's incredible. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to open Obsidian and you're going to create a new vault. So this is very easy to do. I've already created my vault here. So there's really, I won't walk you through this here, but it just pops up right when you open Obsidian. You name the vault, whatever you want to name it. But once you get into Obsidian, this is what you're going to see, except there's going to be nothing filled out. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to create these 3 different folders. So we have collectively, and I've attached this document to the description below that you can check out. So we want to create a raw folder, and this is where unprocessed content goes. So if we find articles, transcripts, meeting notes, or screenshots, we can dump it in there. We want to have the wiki, which is probably the most important part. This is essentially the compiled knowledge base your AI reads from and it writes to. We want to have templates that can hold, formatting rules, agent instructions. I actually don't have my templates on here because I would say that's the one thing that you don't have to have out of this, but it is nice to have. I'll probably be adding that in the next week. And then outputs is where your AI can drop finished work, summary slides, outlines, etc. So that's what we got here. So let's go ahead and dive into it. I also have prompts. So if you're using Claude Cowork, for example, you can go right into Cowork and you can just drop these prompts in there and it's essentially going to do all this work for you. So you don't even really have to follow along too closely, although you probably should. So anyways, the reason why we're creating the vault structure is because your AI has no idea where to look or where to put things. These folders act like departments inside of a company. So the AI can route tasks instead of dumping everything into one giant conversation where it loses context very quickly and is unable to actually get the work done. So the second thing we want to do is we want to create a boot file. So inside of your templates folder, you want to create a boot.md file. Once again, Cowork can do all this for you or whatever agent tool you're using. This is essentially like custom instructions, system preferences, defining who your AI is. What is it? What's its name? What does it do? What's its communication preferences? This is kind of like your, best practices folder for your AI agent. This is an incredibly important file because every time you switch models, the new model will read this file first. And it is the reason why you never have to explain yourself. Claude reads it, GPT reads it, Gemini, any open source model from China, same context, instantly similar output. Without this file, switching models means you're basically starting from zero every single time. Even if it understands some information about you, it doesn't understand how to communicate with you. So we want to create this boot file. This is very important. I have mine in there and it's made a big difference. Now, the third thing we want to do is install the plugins. Well, this is relatively straightforward, but I'll walk you through it really quickly. So anytime you are essentially creating something inside of, let me just make sure this is the window, inside of Cowork or GPT, you can essentially draw your connectors. And so you can see there's all types of connectors in here. I mean, where'd it go? So I have Obsidian installed, but you can also go to manage connectors if you want to see all of them. It's pretty cool. There's obviously a ton of options. And you can also browse connectors if you'd like to and check out all of these amazing things. So worth noting that there is not actually an Obsidian connector inside of Cowork, and that is simply because inside of Cowork, Obsidian acts as a file. So you can see I have Obsidian tagged right there because it essentially is acting like a folder inside of your actual computer. On the web, you can add that connector if you'd like to, but I'm primarily using Obsidian locally inside of my computer. So with that being said, what you're going to do next is, I completely lost where we're at. Okay, so we're going to build the RAG layer. So if you're not familiar with RAG, it's complicated, not really though. Essentially, it's retrieval augmented generation. The way that it works is an LLM uses a vector database. Well, no, that's not true. So if you're building a RAG system, it's essentially to try to improve the accuracy of the output from the LLM because the LLM, like I've been saying, loses context. So with the RAG system, you have a vector database. You can think of it like an x-axis and a y-axis. And the way that it works is it basically pairs similar phrases, numbers, words, sentences, etc. So on the x and y axis, cat and dog might be up here, rocket and ship might be down here. And essentially the way that it works is if you ask for something about the cat, it's going to search all the similar phrases. It finds the dog, it finds the cat close to it, and it's able to surface the actual information that you need. That's a very simplistic explanation of RAG, but just for the example of this video, bear with me. And so what you're going to do is you basically want to make sure that your vault is able to grow into hundreds or thousands of nodes because no AI model can read them all at once. So RAG is going to solve this by converting your nodes into numerical vectors, zeros and ones. Then it's going to pull only the 3 to 5 most relevant chunks when you ask a question. So you can save tokens, save money, and the AI is going to give you way more accurate answers because it's actually grounded in your notes instead. So you can simply go to your Cowork, Copilot, whatever you're using, say, based on everything in my vault, what are my top 3 active projects right now? What's the current status of each? Only reference information that exists in my notes. If you can't find something, tell me what's missing. Now, how about ingesting external knowledge? Well, we want to be able to pull in, an article, a tweet, whatever we might see. And so for that, I've just installed the Obsidian web clipper. It's very straightforward. Basically, you find an article, you can clip it straight into your raw folder, mark it as a markdown file. For YouTube videos, you can copy the URL, paste it into your AI, and use the prompt to generate a structured wiki article. So the really important thing that I'm getting at here is you can do this to switch models without losing context. I can go to Copilot, I can go to GPT, I can go to Claude, I can go to Gemini. It doesn't matter. I'm able to do all of this without losing any sort of context. It's really quite simple. It's not very difficult at all to set up. If you just follow these instructions, you'll be able to do it. But one other thing that I do want to reference that's really important is I have created what I call tasks. Well, I don't call them tasks. Anthropic calls them tasks. So you can go to the scheduled. I have the daily briefing. And so basically, I have your Sam Knight's daily briefing agent. Your job is to pull the last 24 hours of meeting activity, extract actionable intelligence, update the wiki, and produce a daily briefing file. So basically what I have it do is I have it go through all my call transcripts in the last 24 hours, extract key intelligence, update the wiki, and it has rules for the wiki as well. Produce a daily briefing based on this. Meetings today, key decisions, action items, new intelligence, wiki updates made, flags, verify, constraints, blah, blah, blah. But what this does is every single day when I open Cowork, it's going to update the wiki for me. And so that means that without me even having to do anything, my Obsidian is going to be updated based on the previous day's calls, Slack messages, emails, any important and relevant information. And so this allows me to have an ever-growing knowledge base that is based on all of the work that I'm doing, whether it's related to my professional career, a side hustle, my family, whatever it is. It's going to be able to be updated automatically on autopilot every single day, fresh with new context. That is how you create memory that works for an LLM. And so if you're struggling to get the output you want from AI, or you're wanting to jump ship and you want to go to a new platform, but you can't because it knows too much about you, the trick and the way to solve all of this is to use the LLM second brain. It's really simple. It's really straightforward. You download Obsidian, you create the 3 different folders, you create the prompts, and have Cowork basically do the rest of the work for you. So try to make this as actionable as possible. If you did not know, my entire channel is dedicated to helping non-engineers beginners master AI. So whether you're a business owner that wants to use it in your business, just a regular person that wants to use it in your job, or maybe you are an engineer. You're allowed to watch the videos too. But the point is, I'm trying to make AI actionable and easy to digest and understand. Please leave a comment if you have any questions. I try to answer them. I'll make a whole video on it. Definitely subscribe. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Hopefully this LLM knowledge base is extremely helpful, and I'm looking forward to hearing how you're implementing it. And maybe you've even figured out some best practices that I can improve my process with. Peace. I'll see you guys in the next one.